Hello everyone, I'm Professor Geek. Welcome back to the channel. I wanted to talk a little bit about the upcoming Punisher series, which is going to be released on Netflix this weekend. And I wanted to talk about it because I'm really excited about it. And I know there's a lot of buzz for it, and it's coming out of a tried and true universe there with Netflix's corner of the Marvel U. But I don't think it's getting the buzz it deserves. A lot of things are going on with the reception of it, of course. All of the real-life, horrible, tragic mass shootings we've had are putting a damper on the reception, and a lot of people are questioning, is it the right time for this and such? And yeah, that's just really bad timing. It is, and it's the kind of thing where, they put it off for a while, but then mass shootings just keep happening, and it's awful. So my heart really does go out to, of course, all the people affected and stuff, and horrible tragedies and everything, and I don't want to diminish those real life absolute horrors that have happened. But I think just your average person who might sneer at the Punisher series because of what's going on in real life might not really understand how the Punisher works for us in mythology. So I wanted to talk about that a little bit. First, a little bit of a disclaimer. I'm not really all that much of a Punisher fan. If you watch my channel for any length of time, you know that I tend to gravitate towards the more aspirational characters, like the real Superman, the one from like the Rebirth comics right now, not the films, not the New 52 or anything, but the real deal, the inspirational, always does the right thing, always finds a way, full of hope, raised by the Kents to be the beacon of a better tomorrow. That's my kind of character. So Captain America, certainly. The real Wonder Woman, who is sent from the island by her mother, doesn't run away with a boy. Characters like that really I gravitate towards. So the notion of an anti-hero just really doesn't appeal to me very much. And that's what the Punisher is. He's pure vigilante. And he's an anti-hero. He's somebody who's got a moral code, and he's working for his own idea of justice. He's taking vengeance for the innocent who've been harmed. He isn't above protecting people either. I mean, you follow the Punisher in the comic books, and there's plenty of heroism in his deeds, but he's not restricted by the more rigid moral code of somebody like Captain America, Spider-Man, and such. But the reason why I appreciate his character is that I understand he functions in our culture very much as the monster within. So just hear me out. He's basically a werewolf. Not literally. I know he's not an actual lycanthrope. He doesn't literally become a creature of the night. But a character like the Punisher for audiences and readers or whatever, it's an escape. It's a catharsis. It's living vicariously through a character who is no longer bound by the norms, conventions, and basic morals that we are. A lot of people would think, well, that's horrible. Isn't that going to influence one to be less bound by those morals? That would be awful. And I think this is the way of thinking that a lot of people are coming from who think this is just horrible timing for the show and it shouldn't be released now because of all of the horrors and reality we have right now. And I understand. I mean, that's an understandable conclusion to come to, but that's really not the case. That's not how mythology works. You see someone like Frank Castle do these things. And you feel that little bit of joy and catharsis and fun, even because it's a fictional story you're reading. So you do have that little bit of a release. It's the same thing of watching a werewolf story when, or the Incredible Hulk in certain stories where, he's been mistreated, Bruce Banner, and he's trying to hold it together, and then he just busts out into the Hulk and he just wrecks everybody in the room, and there's some level of, yeah, they got theirs, or, some level of a vindication there, a desire for a vengeance, for a validation of the pain that he's gone through and that we link to our own pain in life. And so that's there, but that's not the sole purpose of the story. You follow the character through that, and then you see the consequences that they face. And that's not always that, they go to prisons and learn that, that now they're remorseful for their behavior. No, not at all. Certainly that's not the case with the Punisher. He's never going to repent of his actions and be a good little boy. He's always going to be the Punisher. But you do see the kind of life he's forced to lead, having chosen that path as the Punisher. So only somebody who has some mental issues already, or some trauma issues or whatever, is going to be inspired by the Punisher to go live that lifestyle, period. And not to say that there can't be some. We know that there have been people, I don't know about the Punisher specifically, but your school shootings and stuff like that, and people who have got some issues going on, and they become obsessed and influenced by the wrong things. But that's not a fault of the stories that they're influenced by. That's a fault of whatever's going on in their own minds. If it wasn't that video game, it'd be another or something like that. You know what I mean? So characters like the Punisher draw us into that release, to that vicarious, give them what they deserve kind of desire. But then we come away from that. We've experienced that release, so we don't have to keep craving it in our real lives. Plus, we see the consequences of that and the lifestyle and the natural things that would follow. The kind of person you'd have to become forever. There's no just doing that once or twice to feel good and then going back to who you were. That's why Superman and Batman and Captain America and characters like that, when they're written as they're supposed to be, that's why they do not cross certain lines. That's why it's so ridiculous to say, well, Superman killed that one time, so now he knows what it's like, and now he's not going to do it. Or, Batman kind of went nuts and tortured and murdered people, but now he's inspired to be better. No, you can't go back. Once you cross that line, you'll never go back to the purity and to the place that you were of truly being against something. That'll always be that taint in your character and that closeness to doing it again. And that's what characters like the Punisher teach us. And it's a great lesson, and it's an important one. So that's why I can enjoy the Punisher stories, not even being a big fan of the character or really enjoying his stories overall. I can enjoy, a good story here and there. I thoroughly enjoyed his presence in Daredevil Season 2. In fact, I'll link in the top right-hand corner there. I'll place a link right now to an analysis video I did of Daredevil Season 2 and how it was so amazing, all of the imagery they used. They were going for Dante's The Inferno imagery in that. For Daredevil's character, it was a lot of Dante's The Inferno, and then for Frank Castle's story arc in there, it was very similar to the Purgatorio. If you juxtapose Daredevil's stairwell scene with Frank Castle's prison block scene where he's having to fight all those villains and stuff, it's I won't go into all that now because I did it well in that video, so I'll link to that. It's really deep stuff and heavy stuff, and it's a great example of how a character like Frank Castle, without all of the morals and without the upstanding heroic virtues we come to expect from superheroes, can really flesh out a story and a universe in ways that still teach you and push you into the heroic themes overall. So I do recommend for anyone who's curious about the Punisher series, definitely check it out. It's got a lot of acclaim already, having come from such great series as Daredevil series and the writing and such. And this is going to be continuing a story which I think is definitely worth telling. It has a great cast who's really faithful to the characters. If this was a series that was coming on all throughout the season, like one of the CW shows or something like that, I don't know that I could follow it. I don't know that I could have the stamina because it's just not my type of character in general. But for a Netflix series like this, a limited thing, I'm definitely going to watch it and definitely going to get all the benefits from that kind of story. So hopefully I won't be disappointed. I'll let you know if something happens and it just ends up being awful or whatever. But I wanted to plug that. Justice League is coming out this weekend. I'm just dreading having to do a video about it because, lots of reasons. The characters just deserve so much better, no matter how much they've improved upon the BVS formula, but that's for another video. Till then, I'd like to know if you're looking forward to The Punisher, if that's something you're even going to bother watching. Maybe you're a big-time Punisher fan, and a lot of my friends are, or maybe you're like me and the character just doesn't really appeal to you, that kind of nature of stories. But maybe you see some virtue in it like I do, or at least I've piqued your curiosity. Or maybe you have no desire to see it no matter what I say. That's fine too. Let me know that in the comment section below. And I'll be back this week with another video. Until then, keep enjoying and digging deeper into the superhero stories you love. Thanks for watching.